I'm Tommy Duffy and welcome to the Geeky Dads podcast. Now let us just say it. It's a Daddy Geeky podcast.
Hello there. Welcome to episode 19 of the Geeky Dads podcast, Star Wars Month, Part 2, the Prequel Trilogy. Okay, and we are back this week, and this time we are talking about the Star Wars prequels. So, let's put this into a bit of perspective. So, in 1997, George Lucas released the Star Wars special editions, and then we made aware of the news that he was actually starting on 3 new films. This time based before the original trilogy, and it'd be about the rise and fall of Darth Vader, or Anakin Skywalker. I'm sorry, about the rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker, who would eventually become Darth Vader. In 1998, I remember being in sixth form, and I was in my IT class, and I was made aware that the first trailer for the film had came out. Now, this is early in the time when, movie marketing online wasn't as, today it would be, it's everything. It's on Facebook, it's on YouTube within minutes. Everybody's watching it. You have to go onto Yahoo, you have to go to QuickTime, or was it Apple Films, Apple Trailers? That was it.
QuickTime trailers.
Yeah, it would be like this little box. This is like, this is going back to 1998, and it was, a little pixelated box, and you could barely make it out. But I must have waited about half an hour, because this was dialed. This was before we had broadband, and
so you have to wait for it to download.
we had to wait. It was about 98 megabytes, which is nothing now. You could do that in about 3 minutes, a minute for that.
Yeah,
that. Yeah. So probably around about 100 megabytes. You're probably talking about seconds now, but it was like nearly half an hour.
About seconds now. Easy.
Yeah, so half an hour to an hour, and it was like this little 90-second trailer, and it just. You had to think about it this way, coming from a person who hasn't seen a new Star Wars content since mid-80s, since the Ewok movies. That's the last time you saw new Star Wars content. And here was this, new trailer. You saw this manic-faced red tattooed man with a red lightsaber. You had Yoda talking. You had all this action. You saw all these like space battles, and it was just. There's no way to describe it. It just absolutely blew me away. Little would I know the disappointment that would follow. However, with time, there has been a growing affection for that trilogy. So, let's start off. I will start off with the person out of all of us who's seen it first, and that was Chris. What is your memories of the original prequel trilogy?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the very first one first, anyway.
You did.
Because what it was is we went over to Florida. We went to Disneyland, and one day, we went to. I imagine it was Universal. I'm not sure what actually. It probably was Universal. I would have thought. And they just had it showing, so we were like, "Yeah, let's watch it." So we did. So yeah. It's bizarre. I mean, the way you were talking then about various bits of the trailer and so on, where especially Darth Maul, it's dead weird, because when we were talking about doing the prequels and so on, I had in my head all these kind of images of pod racing and all that bollocks. So, and the droids with the big tanks and
Roger,
the
Roger.
idiots Gungans with the catapults, and so all that sort of thing. And yet, like you said, with the trailer, the almost the only thing that people were talking about was Darth Maul.
Yeah,
because he was wicked.
yeah, he was. He just captured the imagination. He was.
Oh yeah, like so incredibly. So yeah, it's it was mental. And the film, I mean, I must, I'm not gonna lie, I did enjoy the film. I was so. What year did it come out?
99.
99. So I
Yeah.
was 70. Yeah, that probably fits. Because I had to go home early from Florida because I had exams to do. So yeah, so there you go. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It did feel a bit different to the original trilogy. I mean, obviously it's going to because of the different frame and so on. But it did feel different. So like cleaner in a way, if that makes sense.
Well, you broke up then. What did you say it was like?
I said it felt cleaner.
Cleaner.
In a
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
Yeah, because the first ones are quite dirty, quite dingy, and these ones are very clean, very shiny. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, quite gritty and so on, but yeah, it was quite shiny. So, but I did enjoy it. So, I mean, looking back now, do I enjoy it as much? Probably episode 1 is probably my least favorite Star Wars, like just completely. I can't think of any of the others that I like less, to be
Really?
fair.
Okay.
Yeah. Genuinely, yeah. I don't think I think I like the least. Just like the pod racing stuff. It's like I don't know. I enjoyed it at the time, but
yeah. Just with time, it's just gone down. But my memories of it was being insanely jealous that you got to see it first. But you got to think back in the day, back in those days, this is when films were released in America, like a few months in advance of being released over here. Not like now when it's actually films are mostly released over here first because there's less chance of it being pirated.
Yeah,
that's literally the reason why a lot of films are released in the UK first, because we don't take shit when it comes to somebody bringing a video camera into the cinema. But yeah, so I remember being so desperate to watch it. It's probably one of the first films that I watched on a video CD, because I got a friend who managed to find a friend who had a copy of it, so he did a copy for me. I watched the first half of the film. Me and James Brooksbank sat in his parents' house on his PC watching it, and the first disc worked fine, and then we got to the second disc and it just wouldn't work. I was absolutely gutted. So I had to find a mutual friend who had the second disc and managed to get another copy of it. We watched it, and it was
nice.
I watched it, but I was going to go with my friend and his brother to go and watch it the day it came out. I booked tickets in advance. I let me and my teacher in high school, Mr. Letson. He said, "Okay, well, as long as you stop being obsessed about Star Wars, that's okay, brilliant. Yeah,
never
watch it. Yeah, just come back when you finish." So that was fine. Anyway, the lad I went with was him and his brother. It was Andy Ledborough, who Chris.
Yeah.
And Andy, being Andy, turned around to his teacher, Mr. Boss, and said, "Oh, I'm not going to be in. I'm not going to be in. Not going to be in this lesson on so and so on this day." So I'll come. So I'm going to watch Star Wars Episode 1 with Ian Duffy. I'm going to walk into the sixth form block, and Mr. Boston calls me over. Me and Mr. Boston had a good relationship. We have to talk about Star Wars. I'll get onto that because he's still lending the films. And he got me into The Crow and Clockwork Orange. He lent me when it was banned. He lent me, he had it on DVD and he lent it to me. I'd never seen it before. So that's a different story for a different episode. Anyway, so he goes, "Excuse me, Duffy." He said, "Yeah." Said, "Andy Ledborough told me he's not turning up to his lesson because he's going to watch a film with you." I said, "Yeah." He said, "I know he likes Star Wars stuff like this, but it's interrupting his classes." And I went, "I'm sorry, I cleared it with my teacher."
Yeah.
Anyway, so Andy turned around to me and said, "Well, so Mr. Boss said I can't go." I said, "So I'm going to go and see it on the Saturday instead." So he said, "Are you going to cancel your ticket and come with us?" I went, "No, so I'm going to watch it."
No.
No, I'm going to see it. It's the day it comes out. It's the first show, and I am absolutely not going to give up the opportunity. I cleared my teacher first before I booked the ticket. You just told yours, like, "Oh yeah, I'm just going with Ian." I just said to Mr. Boston, said, "Listen, I understand that." So I cleared with my teacher first. If he didn't clear with you, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I remember seeing the cinema. There wasn't that many for the first film, first day, first show. It was actually relatively quite quiet in the cinema. But that trilogy I did see. I saw this episode 1 and episode 3 the day it came out first show. I saw Attack of the Clones second day because I had an exam on the first day. But I remember going to see it. I just remember being so excited. But I think as time went on, like I thought all the same things. Oh, it's very clean. Oh, it's quite exciting to think. But Darth Maul just blew me away. That bit, the Duel of the Fates, the Obi-Wan. Just I did, not gonna lie, I had a man crush on Ewan McGregor. Still do. I think I do. Actually, I've just made like a little. I must have just automatically just made like a connection. I'll go with that towards the end of the episode. But yeah, so I remember coming back and thinking, okay, that's good. But that Jar Jar's doing me head, and Anakin's annoying me a little bit when he says yippee, and these acting's a bit shit. And he built C-3PO. Why is he not fucking recognising in all the other bloody films? So why is my joy doing with all these people? There's all stuff like that, but I still liked it. I bought it on DVD when it came out. I didn't. I liked Attack of the Clones. Thought it was a lot better than at the time. I thought it was a lot better than Revenge of the Phantom Menace. I thought actually, as I got older, I said no. Actually, I think it's a lot worse because Hayden Christensen just wasn't good as the chemistry he had with him and Natalie Portman just wasn't that. It wasn't genuine. I don't like sand. I hate sand. Gets in your fingers, gets everywhere, and he just seemed really whiny and just he's brilliant. He's absolutely knocks out the park in the third one. So that was my least favorite, but Revenge of the Sith absolutely blew me away. It was the Star Wars film I wanted. It was epic, and it was just amazing. It opened up that brilliant space battle. Ewan McGregor just absolutely just man crushing it, smashing out the park, just being beautiful and cheeky and amazing. What else was I going to say about it? It was just I remember, and this is my anecdote. So you had your anecdote about seeing them, going to see it at Disneyland. I was desperate for the figures, and this is when Argos and Index started. This was when Index started going. When we were kids, you get the catalog and you had the individual figures under a different catalog number. This time, you just got it's just random. So Star Wars figure. So I went in. Must have been just a couple of weeks before the film came out. I went in to get a figure, and I got a battle droid. So that's the only one you got. I want Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, I've only got these two. I think the other one was like Padme figure. So I'll take the battle droid.
Yeah.
Of course, a few months later, I'm in Chester with a friend, and I see a Woolworths. I say, I'll just jump. I'd like £5 on my pocket, and said, "Oh, see if they got an Obi-Wan figure in here." I'm 18 years old at this point now. I think I know 17. So, I really want an Obi-Wan figure. So I went in, and there it was. There was one. They shot the last one. And he must have been a kid. It must have been like our Tommy's age now, so about 8 or 9. And I went to grab it, and he went to grab it. What are you doing? I said, "I'm getting this figure." I said, "No, I'm getting it." So I had my happy fingers on her face. I said, "No, it's mine." So anyway, I just shoved them, ran off, and paid for it. Right. Honestly, I still have no shame about it today. I still feel proud of it. I roughed up an 8-year-old to get a figure.
Yeah.
But yes, I had that figure for a long time. I think Tommy's got it now. So, and it was really cool because I had like a little actual hair braid of little things he had. But what I will say before we move on to Craig was, I was thinking about this, and my fashion choices and my hairstyle choices throughout those films actually matches my hairstyle and my facial hair choices now. So when Phantom Menace came out, my hair was short and spiky like it. like humans in that film. When Attack of the Clones came out, I had like that little like longish hair with a mullet, and I had like a beard then. Then when Revenge of the Sith came out, I still had the beard, but it was trimmed a bit more, and because it was work, and then I had a job, and my hair was shorter, but it was naturally going into a pattern. And then now my hair's gone a bit back to a bit longer now, and my beard's fully bushy, and it just looks like Ewan and I say Obi-Wan in the new Kenobi trailers. So I think I seem to just be following Obi-Wan Kenobi style every time the film comes out. But yeah,
so when are you going to live in the desert?
When I'm going to live in the desert, I don't know. I've lived in Runcorn. That's much of a wasteland. Oh, yeah. I lived in Widnes as well, and that's a toxic wasteland. So woo.
Nice. There is that.
Insulted both your hometowns in one go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I like it. It's lovely. But yeah, so that's mine. Also, will I'll point out that I did have the original. Actually, I'll go on about another anecdote. Anybody ever played the original like PS1 PC Episode 1 video game? It's more like an RPG. It's an action game with RPG elements.
It was horrible.
Yeah, it was all right then when the games come out, but you're playing it now. I mean, I bought it from a shop in Morecambe, which actually had it was in a box that was ex rental from Blockbuster, which is a proud part of my collection because I used to work with Blockbuster for a time.
you did.
Yeah, I did for like 6 weeks until I got a job as a graphic designer. But yeah, so yeah, it was really good. It was really fun to play because I remember playing. Said like, "Oh, you talk to these kids and they're being annoying," so I just slash them down with lightsaber. And say, "Oh, you're a mean, nasty man." They wouldn't talk to you for the rest of the game. It was like those RPG elements, so your decisions, your actions affected what happened in the game, which was really quite clever. But yeah, played it again a couple of months ago, and it was absolutely shocking and awful and terrible. So yeah, that's mine. Craig, what about your memories of the prequels?
My memories is the first one. Obviously, I had just started high school. I was in year 7, and I didn't go to the pictures to watch it. I got a lovely Black Flag pirated copy of it of someone on VHS, and it was one of those ones as well where it was come from the cinema, so you saw people pop up in the road through to the side and stuff as well, like the black silhouette of a head moving. But
did somebody turn around and say, "I didn't want a bounty, I wanted a whisper"?
But yeah, that was the first time I feel like I think it was like after that episode 1, which is weird because obviously you got the original 3, but I think it was after episode 1 where I started becoming more of a fan for Star Wars because obviously I watched the original 3 when I was a kid and I just liked them. I thought they were good movies because I was a kid, but it wasn't until like episode 1 where I become more of a fan because of the stuff. Obviously, it was starting to get more popular for my age around that time. Beforehand, but it's more popular for my age.
Yeah.
But it's the lightsaber deals that got me. Like I said, the 1, 2, and 3 just knocked it out of the park. Like you said, I know you were limited with obviously the original 3 that what you could do and stuff like that. But like I said, you can't beat the Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon. And
yeah.
I'm a bit iffy on episode 2, but episode 3, Obi-Wan and bloody Anakin. Like I said, like you just can't beat it. Like I said, those fights, lightsaber duels are brilliant, and it's just how much it changed as well. Like as Chris said, it didn't seem as gritty. Like obviously, even like the dark bits in it seemed bright. Like it was like obviously I don't know if that's to do with obviously it's definitely to do with the effects and that. But like I said, it just didn't seem to be as dark in I don't have to explain it, but I don't really know what I mean. Like, but like I said, the dark bit seems light in it as well. But
wondering whether or not, because of like the because of the use of CGI and so on, where you have what is basically these massive set pieces.
Yeah.
You see, when they get to a planet or what have you. I know, like, in, for example, Return of the Jedi, when he goes back to Dagobah, you see him approaching the planet and all this sort of thing. But when they're actually doing things, when there's the actual city, they're a lot more. It's almost like a lot more personal, a lot more enclosed, a lot more almost claustrophobic. Not necessarily in a bad way sometimes, but for example, in Yoda's little hut, for example, when it's just him and Luke talking, so it's a very enclosed space. And I mean, let's face it, Yoda's not going to need a lot of space, but but I think this is the thing with the advent of CGI, where you have these massive set pieces, because it doesn't matter. You can have your characters still interacting in this very small space, and yet in the background you've got this massive city or a massive ocean that covers the entire planet, or this space battle backdrop or what have you, which I know, yes, they did. Again, they did in Return of the Jedi, although it was basically little flashes in the distance when he's talking to the Emperor. But it's so open and so on, because you have the ability to do that it doesn't feel as personal. It does feel like you've got these characters, and yes, like I said, they're interacting in a small space, but they're kind of almost dwarfed in a sense, because you've got these massive, massive like backdrops, environments, what have you, that essentially aren't even them.
Oh yeah, it's not there. They just make it like it's like you could be like in my front living room now, like, and then like my front living room could be the set, and then the window the green screen.
Yeah.
But then that green screen could be like a massive forest, or you can see a waterfall or something out of it and something like that, and it just made it so much better in that way.
Yeah.
Like I said, what they've done with them is brilliant, but like what was it Ian saying before? The second one isn't my favourite out of them. Although Jar Jar Binks is like one of the most annoying characters ever. Like, but I still prefer the first one to the second one, and then obviously the third one's the best out of those three.
The third one's definitely the best.
Yeah.
Although
I still think episode one's worse, but it's not particularly far behind episode 2.
I did have a little.
Episode 2's not particularly far behind episode 1, to be fair.
No, it's not too far, but like I said, I will say with episode 2, I did have a little orgasm when Yoda pulled out his lightsaber, and it was like, no way we're going to see Yoda fight. Because,
there was that.
Because you just think, like, it's a puppet, and then you realise, oh no, he's CG. Because he was a puppet in episode 1, he still used a puppet, didn't he? And then it was episode 2 where they went to full CGI with him, and it's like, like you just got Yoda doing a duel, and you never thought you'd see something like that, and it's just awesome.
It was wicked.
Yeah, it was. That probably was. I think that was probably my favourite scene in Attack of the Clones.
Count Dooku.
It did just feel like it started going into more of a darker thing than. I like the tone of episode 2 more than the tone of episode 1, I think. So,
yeah.
I do like the obviously. I did like the battle at the end, though, with in the stadium. I did like that scene with all the Jedi and bloody what's his name? Oh, Boba Fett said Dad get his head chopped off.
Jango Fett.
Jango Fett.
Yeah.
Jango. Yeah. Got with Mace Windu and the purple lightsaber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he actually demanded the purple lightsaber.
He
Yes,
did.
he did.
Yeah.
Yes,
He did. Like, yeah, he wanted to stick out because of all the other Jedi that were there. He's like, no, no, who I am. It's like,
Yeah, like
And
yeah,
you know,
no one will recognize you.
and
yeah,
do
but
you
when
know what? Go.
go on. I was
I
gonna
was
say
gonna-
when obviously you see the big screen, you just see a load of lightsabers, but you don't realise who they all are, do you? And you see a purple one, it's like, oh, look at that one. That's Mace Windu.
Yeah.
Do you know what was engraved on his lightsaber?
Bad motherfucker.
Yeah, bad motherfucker.
Yeah.
Thought so.
Yeah, of course. I want to get these motherfucking droids off this motherfucking ship.
Yeah.
Roger.
But it's down to the crystal, isn't it? In the lightsaber.
The kyber crystal.
Kyber crystal, yeah.
Uh,
So I didn't they explain that like blue and green is just more common.
Yeah.
I think it's something with the way you are in a Jedi form, though, as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think the theory was that when Mace Windu's battles, when Mace Windu battles, it's more he uses like light and dark techniques, so that's why his lightsaber like bleeds a little bit, or his kyber crystal bleeds a little bit. That was the theory I was told. Anyway, which makes a bit more sense.
And the red crystals are synthetic as well, aren't they? They're not real.
No, they're real. They're just corrupted.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're not. They're man-made, aren't they? Compared to.
No, they actually are like proper lightsaber crystals, but the red ones is because they've been corrupted. So somebody with the dark side just puts all the hate and anger and pain into these.
I thought someone said that I read up on it, like the synthetic. That's why they're red as well. But obviously, you put the dark side into it, the power.
There is you can get synthetic lightsaber crystals. It does say, and this is probably where the confusion comes from. It does say, due to the methods used in their creation, they were often formed with a red coloration, though they could be made with any color through special manipulations of either the creation process or the crystal itself, often through the Force, such as the green synth crystal that powered Luke Skywalker's second lightsaber. So, so whether or not this is canon or what have you, but it is supposedly Luke's is a synthetic crystal.
That's interesting. I always thought it was he just because he went to Obi-Wan's hut to build it. I thought it was Qui-Gon Jinn's crystal.
There's one here that says so you have it. Sith lightsabers are red because they contain stolen kyber crystals, which are literally bleeding from the trauma being forced.
Yeah, they're kind of unstable, which is why they kind of.
I thought it was synthetic. I must have missed that somewhere else. But
well, that's why they have a kind of like almost like a burning kind of effect to them. It's because they're unstable as well. But there you go.
Learn something new every day. The ways of the Force.
Okay, here's a little fun quiz for you. Craig had one of the first episodes. I'll do one of this one. So in episode 1, there are 2 cameos in it. Well, not official cameos, but there are 2 cameos in it. What are those cameos?
I can't see. Episode 1 in years.
One you'll probably know because it's really famous.
Isn't
so it's not a person making a cameo. It's like a species. I'll give you a clue. One's a species.
One's a species.
What's the question, sir?
So there's 2 like appearances in episode 1. One of a species and one of what looks like another famous Lucasfilm.
Oh, character. I know.
Go on.
E.T.
Yeah, E.T. is Racer in the Galactic Sense as a species.
Yep.
Right. 2 points to Gryffindor.
Sweet.
Yeah. What's the other one?
I believe it's a character called Joe Mama.
Nope.
Oh.
Sorry. Joe Mama was in it.
No, I haven't got a clue.
It's Indiana Jones.
No, is it?
Yeah.
No, he's Han Solo in this one.
No, it's literally just right. You Google Indiana Jones and episode 1.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's in Mos Espa.
Oh, is he?
He's on the stairs.
Oh yeah.
You see it?
Yeah.
Just somebody like in the fedora and jacket.
Yeah.
Can you tell me what characters is in episode 1 and is also in episode 4?
Jabba the Hutt. Oh no, Greedo.
Although Jabba the Hutt is well, he's in the thing here, but
several of them.
Yeah, I'm thinking one. Is Greedo the one? I don't know his actual
one that
name.
Han shoots.
Yeah, the one who got shot first.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't that it's like Anakin's friend as well.
No, it wasn't. No, Anakin was fighting with Greedo, and then Greedo's friend says, "I'm careful, you're going to end up getting killed one day."
Yeah.
So, yeah, he gets killed by Han, doesn't he? Oh.
He does, yeah. So yeah, Greedo does appear in the trilogy originally. Sorry, in episode 1. Yeah, so that's correct.
And obviously Jabba.
Jabba.
Yeah, Jabba. Yeah.
Jabba ranks.
Jabba ranks. So yeah. Can't think of anything else. Can't think. So yeah, so
well, yeah.
I'm gonna say, well, I think we're all agreed that the standout character of the original, the prequels, was Darth Maul, and he was so popular. They brought him back. He brought him back to life in the Clone Wars TV series, and he's actually made appearances in Han Solo, the Han Solo film as well.
Yeah,
a surprise cameo.
Was he in Rebels as well?
Yes, he was in Rebels. Yeah, he ended up meeting his end in Rebels.
Yeah, so that's where he ended up getting killed in by Obi-Wan.
I was like to go Kenobi.
But yeah, I've not seen Rebels. It's just a clip that I saw of it, like where he meets him.
Yeah, it literally was the shortest like battle ever.
It
literally is just it is a perfect battle though. So yeah, what else was I going to say? I mean, one thing I will love about the prequels is it did give there was sufficient interest between to show what happened between episode 2 and 3, and that was the Clone Wars TV series, which is, I mean, I watched it first when it first started, and it was a bit cartoony this, but it just turned out to be just one of the most really quite deep and quite brilliant shows. I mean, I was like, the last episode had me in tears. It was just beautiful.
I've still not seen the final episode yet of the final season. I've not even watched. I'm only halfway through it still as well, so don't ruin that one for me.
I won't. But it is just brilliant, and that's where they brought Darth Maul back. He was that was it, Darth Maul. So does everybody know who voiced him? So he was played by by Ray Park in the film, but his voice was done by somebody else. Do you know whose voice it was?
Nope.
Nope, Chris.
I think I did, but can't think off the top of my head.
He's a Scouse actor, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, he is.
And it's a lot of cult things. It's Peter Serafinowicz.
That's it.
Yeah, the roommate from Shaun the Dead.
Is the one who played in Darth Maul? Is he the one who played Toad in X-Men?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Yeah. Toad, he played Snake Eyes in those 2 G.I. Joe films as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But they brought him back for the film, but they didn't bring back Peter Serafinowicz. Apparently, Peter Serafinowicz did record dialogue for Solo, but they ended up using the actor who played him in Clone Wars, and that was Sam Witwer, who was the character, who was Galen Marek in the Force Unleashed games.
Oh, right. Okay.
So he played Maul, and he did voice Maul in Solo as well. But I will say this: he does voice Maul brilliantly. I just love how much more they brought to the character in this, and especially his obsession with Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's face it, he bisected him. He cut off his dick, basically. You'd be pissed off if somebody cut off your dick.
And the rest.
Yeah, his legs, obviously, but, more importantly, his dick.
Well, to be fair, I'm not intimately familiar with that particular alien species.
I was going to say, you don't even know if he has a penis.
Yeah, so
maybe that's why he's so angry.
He has several, and they are around the top of his head.
Yeah.
On his horns. You're saying his horns?
Yeah, maybe his horns really are that horny. That is what I'm saying. Yes, but no, I don't. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he has his in his armpits. I don't know.
So. Yeah. Oh God, that'd be just interesting to see.
But how cool was it though? To say what you say with Darth Maul, that first bit where he pulls out his lightsaber and you're like, oh yes. Like, what?
And then the second
bit comes out, like,
came.
No way! It's like a dual lightsaber. This can't be real.
I know. It was so cool.
And like I said, the choreographing it is just brilliant though. Like those fights and like I said, you obviously limited to the first original three. Like I don't think you've ever done something like that before, I do really. So that's probably why it was a lot slower. Like you saw the lightsaber deals pick up in like episode 5 and 6. Like I said, you did pick up a little bit and do a bit more actiony life, but the speed of them in 1, 2, and 3 is just unreal. Like the fights and like how fast you're moving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just you can't go down from there, and unfortunately, you kind of did with 7, 8, and 9. But we'll talk about that over time.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that in the next episode, won't we, Craig?
Yes, we will.
This might get nasty.
All right.
Chris might not know this, but there's history between me and Craig and episode 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that where you discovered your undying love for each other?
No, it's my undying love for episode 8 and Craig's undying hatred for episode 8.
Episode 8.
So but yeah,
put it
so
on. I want to see about this now.
Yeah, so yeah, get ready for it now, because it will be Craig versus Ian next week when it comes to episode.
The death.
It will be like a mock time in Star Trek. We'll fight to the death.
I've got to watch it again now before next week as well.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that. I can go off. I can do the original trilogy. The prequels, not too bad, but the sequel trilogy, I'm gonna have to get back onto.
Right. We'll get back on it. Oh well.
Because I've only seen each one once, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I saw them all at the cinema.
Yeah. I saw all of them. Actually, all the Disney films. I've seen them all on the day they came out.
Nice.
Every single one. I saw Force Awakens at midnight showing.
Oh, very nice.
I think Craig was he's got the same one as me.
I saw 7 and 8 on the release date. And I think I saw the 9th one a couple of days after its release.
I took Tommy to see it. The first one I took Tommy to see. I took Solo. No, the first one I took Tommy to see was Solo. Second one I took Tommy to see was Rise of Skywalker. And I saw that day it came out, so I booked tickets. Yeah, anyway. I remember being at the midnight show and going, there's that lad from work who wears all the cool hoodies. Because I think that's before we knew each other. I was sat in the back and I saw, it's him from work.
It's
him I didn't even know. Was it me?
Yeah, it was you.
I didn't even know. Like I said, I don't even fucking clue.
Yeah, I was sat in the back with me. My girl was seeing at the time. I was like, that's him from work. And then I think you joined our team a couple of months later. Oh no, it was after, because I saw you a couple again when I went to see. We was watching Batman versus Superman. Because you went to the midnight show and said, "What's him again?"
Oh,
and then he saw you outside his house, and then he saw you going to the shop.
I know. Fucking hell,
then
I never realised this.
Accidental stalking.
Oh god.
There's that guy who's starting my work. Oh.
I'm gonna have to check my bedroom for cameras when I go for a minute.
I don't put them there.
No, God, then put it in the bathroom.
I put them last time you found them.
Yeah, I put them under the toilet seat.
In a brown rain.
Chocolate rain. okay, right. Well, and that bombshell, and that absolutely disturbing bit of that thing's disturbing. Quite On that, like, absolutely heartbreak. Yeah. Okay, on that bombshell, we're gonna put a pin
on
in
that
it.
note.
Yeah, we're gonna go because I've crossed the line. I'm so sorry.
Again, as usual.
Again. I didn't just cross the line. I didn't just cross my line. I whipped my pants down and I peed on it. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll be back next week with episode 20, the sequel trilogy. Woohoo!
Episode 7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9. Ian versus Craig.
Right. The galactic fighter in a galaxy far, far away.
Well, more in a podcast far, far away. Anyway.
Oh yeah, here you go.
There we go.
Podcast far, far away.
Right then. Well, thanks very much, everybody, for listening. Take care, and we'll speak to you next. You'll hear us next week. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, Alexa, play the Geeky Dads podcast.
Purchasing creepy dog masks.
No, Alexa, play the Geeky Dads podcast.
Buying freaky dildo dog cat.
No, Alexa, you utter boob. Hey, Beastman, have you been fucking with my Alexa again?
Attention listeners, we are experiencing technical difficulties and will be back next week for another episode of the Geeky Dad podcast. Thank you for choosing the Geeky Dads for your listening leisure.